2:37 a.m. Paju City, South Korea. And I just woke up. I had a dream. Sometimes I have lucid dreams. That means I know I'm dreaming. And I have considerable freedom and autonomy within those dreams. But then other times I'm just as lost and at the mercy of the dream as one could ever be. And this was one of those dreams. I was in a kind of a marathon, although it wasn't your typical marathon, but it was a race of sorts. And I was a member of a team. And the members of the team had sorted out strategies and whatnot to observe throughout the race. I've never been a very good runner, but I was part of this team. I didn't get the sense that I was a particularly esteemed member of this team. But I was a part of the team nonetheless. And this marathon, this race, wended its way through some lovely geographies, dreamscapes, but Earth-like. And at some point, the team kind of decamped for a rest, a regrouping, and there was some bickering amongst the more capable and competitive members of the team. And during this time, some other contestants in the race joined our huddle. It was kind of like in a cave. And I noticed that some of these contestants were very strange and exotic, including this very small female, and she was fuzzy. And on closer inspection, I saw that she had these extremely dainty feet that almost resembled paws. And she was able to run on all fours. And then it occurred to me that this person in a not so distant life had been a rabbit. Now, of course, I have a pet rabbit, so, you know. Sometimes your details from your real life inform certain aspects of your dreams. But then there are other parts of these dreams that I couldn't script if I were the greatest script writer in the world. I don't know where they come from. They don't seem to come from any quarter of my poor imagination. But and then as I took a closer look at these feet of hers, I saw that the hind feet had like dozens of very delicate, each foot had dozens of really delicate toes. That sounds really weird, and it was really weird, but I didn't feel anything towards this creature, but just fascination. And then it was time to start the race again, and some of the members of my team started off running again, and they were deliberately stepping on her feet. At first, I thought it must be that they were just being careless, but it soon became apparent that they were not being careless. They were doing it on purpose. And I started to object. Because it was clear that this person was never going to win the race. Anyway. But it soon became equally clear that it was pointless to object. And so we all started off running again, and as is sometimes the case in these dreams, at this point I was able to kind of hover over this person. And then she took on the form of a rabbit, more or less, and I just kept, for as long as I could keep up with her, I kept saying this, kind of whispering to her, "Don't mind them, you can do it." And then there were other contestants in the race, and who were like sort of like different animals. Some of them were like birds. And the race, it was going along boardwalks along the sides of mountains and hills that had switchbacks, and then it became kind of like a labyrinth, and the more capable members of the team started running into dead ends and becoming frustrated because the course of the race wasn't going as it was mapped out or something, and they were getting frustrated and turning back and going retracing their steps, and then some of these what would you call them? Well, unlikely contestants were Some of them were scrabbling over the dead ends and around and over and yeah, there were seeming dead ends that were opened up to the unlikely contestants. Let's put it that way. And then I gradually, I'd been part of that team. I just decided I wasn't part of that team anymore. And I let them go their way. And I ran with these misfits, even though I wasn't one of them either. Yeah, I wasn't one of them. And I took one of these ways that opened up that wasn't part of the official route. And then then the course, it looked kind of like it was going through maybe a certain part of Nepal that I once trekked through. It's kind of an amalgam of Nepal and other out-of-the-way places that I've been. And there was a resort town where there was lots of lots of the runners just sat down and began partaking of things. There was alcohol. And I didn't do that. I had a race to run such as I was doing it, and I thought, well, maybe I'll come back this way again, and then I can always come back this way again and enjoy that some other time. But then I thought, well, I don't do that anymore anyway, so even if and then I thought, maybe my long-suffering missus, she might want to come back here. It's a really nice place. But even then, I can't do that anymore. Oh well, I kept running, and then we had to run through this gauntlet of these annoying kind of SJW types that were in it for the LGBTQ plus minus semicolon types. And now the remarkable thing was that I just kind of dodged them and weaved my way through them and around them. I didn't hate them. I didn't hate them. I was not fond of them. got past them as quickly as I could. But I didn't hate them. And all right, so then it was a long dream, and it was a marathon. I never got tired. And then the end of the race came, and you know how dreams go. You can't really. It's still fresh. I only woke up like just after 2:00, and it's already hard to recount, you know? But so I'll do the best I can here at the end. Is the end of the race. And there's this tiny, petite woman with a very, what's the word? Aggrieved look on her face. She was petite to the point of almost being like, not a dwarf, because she wasn't dwarfish. She was more like an elf. I mean, she was as petite as a child, but a fully developed woman. And she was strikingly beautiful. Although I didn't look at her in a sexual manner, which frankly is unusual for me. I mean, I'm a pretty red-blooded sort of fellow, and although I don't act on such impulses, I often, I appreciate the female sex, But she was distressed and aggrieved and exhausted. And she was looking around, saying something, trying to say something, but nobody was listening. And I looked at her and I said, "You can tell me, what is it?" And she looked at me and she said, "After this long race, what'd she say? I think what she said was something like, okay, she might have said, "My own feet don't love me." She might have said that, but she definitely said, the ground has no love for my poor feet. And I thought this was ridiculous, because this little woman had this sort of beauty that could curry you any kind of favor that you might possibly need in this life, in this world. Although it wasn't really this world, but anyway. I just opened my arms. I said, "I'm here." And she came and we embraced, and I just held her until she sort of started to wriggle away. And she said, "Thank you." And then others started to take care of her. And then as she pulled away, there was this golden light that shone on me, and I was aware that there was a single tear coming out of my right eye, although I didn't have this sensation that I was crying or shedding a tear. And the light sort of illuminated this tear that was rolling down my cheek. And I thought, that's odd. And then I woke up and just kind of wondering, what was that all about? And then the answer came right away, is that even though you didn't have to, throughout the course of that race, throughout the course of that dream, you were under no obligations or constrictions of any kind. You loved. I did? Yeah, you did. So, I heard this sound and I became aware that my rabbit, who had, it's unusual, he had followed me into my room before I went to bed and jumped into his little rabbit house that I built under the Linux computer station. And he was chewing away at his cardboard house, tearing strips off of it. So I went to get him and put him out on the veranda where he's got food. And I came back and I sat down. I guess for a minute I forgot about it, but then when I came back and sat down again, and it's like no, that's not it. What do you mean that's not it? Think about it. You loved. Don't just sit there and sit with it for a minute. You loved. And even though it may not have felt like it, you loved everybody. Because some of them, just by not hating them in your own way, you loved them. I thought, that can't be. No, it's true. You loved. you loved them. Even though you didn't care for them. I'm thinking, oh, those? No, I didn't love them, man. I just got through them and got away from them as best I could. Ah, you loved them. That can't be right. No, you did. And this affected me in a peculiar way. I laid back on my bed and the tears started to come, and I was like, no, I'm not, no. So, okay, I'm back here now, and see, I've got this thing bothering me that, especially after the event that happened in the first part of this decade, involved huge and terrifying and disgusting magnitudes of mass hysteria and stupidity. Stupidity that cost many good people their lives and livelihoods. I developed a hatred for humankind. And I mean a hatred. And maybe hatred is too strong a word. I developed a poisonous contempt for Homo sapiens sapiens. All the more poisonous because I happen to be a member of Homo sapiens sapiens. So, to be perfectly logical, I have to extend that contempt to myself. And a feeling of shame at being a member of this species. And a feeling of dread and resentment at having to live out the rest of my days as a member of this species, this profoundly stupid species. A shocking proportion of whose members literally cannot think their way out of a wet paper bag. I wish I had the meme. I'd pull it up on screen, but it's in my meme stash, which is backed up on a USB somewhere. But it's a picture of a really, dumb-looking dog, like a white Pomeranian with its dumb-looking face, and somebody had photoshopped like a juice box under its chin with the straw going into its mouth, and they'd chopped whatever the juice box said. They'd photoshopped dumb fuck juice, and the caption of the meme was, let's see if I got to make sure I get this right. You need to take a vaccine that doesn't work so that the vaccine that I took that doesn't work will work. If you didn't get that, pause it and rewind it 10 seconds and listen to it again. And maybe if you have to, listen to it again. Maybe you're one of these people. In which case, I'm sorry for insulting you, but if that's really that hard for you to understand, then I'm kind of not sorry for insulting you. But I'm spiritually aware enough to know that this contempt and this, I shouldn't say hatred, but certainly an aversion and also a fear. It's like stupidity on that scale is so dangerous. I don't want to die at the hands of it. And during that whole episode, I told my long-suffering missus, says, I'm not taking that shit in my body. And if you do, then I'm sorry. I'm not going that way. Well, she didn't. She's got a very stubborn, contrarian part of her character, too. Now, I had very clear reasons. Her reasons were not so clear. She just didn't like being told what to do. She smelled a rat. But I told her, I says, I don't care if I have to eat out of dumpsters and be homeless in the middle of winter. I'm not taking that shit in my body. And she stuck by me. She was willing to go that road with me if necessary. You see, I developed a deep, deep, deep disdain and contempt and resentment toward Homo sapiens sapiens. And that's not very spiritually healthy, much less advanced, is it? It's like, I'll still do the right thing. I'll still help old ladies across the street. If I find somebody lost, I'll take it to the lost and found. I'll be ethical. I'll do my best by people. I'm not going out of my way to hurt anybody. But for the most part, I want nothing to do with people. And I've been particularly bothered by this, and so this dream was like, I had it, and then it was like I was being given a talking to. It's like, no, you didn't know you were in it. This was your pure mind without those walls. And you loved. You still got it in you. And I'm sitting there waking up from the dream, and I can just feel the walls just slamming back up, slamming back up, slamming back up. No, that wasn't me, man. No, it was you. That was more you than you're going back to being right now. That was you. That was the real you. No. I would roll over to, like, even if I'm not going back to sleep, it's just after 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to lie down for a little while, just stew in this. And it was like, get up and tell the story about this dream. No, I'm not doing that. Why not? Because I'm not putting this, even though, okay, I appreciate this dream. I'm going to hold on to this dream as a precious little treasure that I have hidden in my sock. Okay. Not on my foot, but like deep in the back of my sock drawer. And once in a while, I'll take it out and look at it. But I'm not putting it out there on the fucking sewer of the internet. And, there can be kind of, it's like, well, what do you care? Nobody's watching anyway, right? Ha ha ha. Yeah, I'm like, ha. No, I'm not doing it. Yeah, well, you should. Yeah, why should I? Yeah, because you never know. Yeah, well, it's my dream. I don't want anybody out there putting their grimy fingers on it. Yeah, well, you do what you want. But you should sit down, at least put it out there. Even if it's your last. Even if it's the last thing you do there. Should be a good note to end on. Don't you think? Like, not really. You should do it. Do what you want, but so I laid there for a few minutes and I was like, all right. So I don't know if this might be it. I didn't want to do a YouTube channel, and I had the best intentions. It started much in that way that I just described. It's like, yeah, you should do it. Like, why the hell should I do that? Well, you never know. You might help somebody. I'm not doing that, man. Nobody's gonna, you never know. You should do it. And so here I am, and it hasn't been that long, but I'm just like, I'm not patient. I don't like the internet. I don't like people. And YouTube in particular. I'm not saying YouTube is all bad. There's some great stuff on YouTube. It's just, as to be a content creator is not my bag. And I persisted. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to help alcoholics. And for one thing, I don't know how long. It's been like 4.5, 5 months I've been at this, which is, I know it's not long at all, but I think in all that time, I've been specifically trying to reach people with alcohol problems. It's in my channel description. It's in most of my video descriptions. Specifically, I've made it painfully clear to the almighty Malgorism who my people are, who my tribe is, whom I'm trying to reach out to. And all this time, the videos that I have most specifically targeted to other alcoholics, whether pre or mid-recovery, they've gotten the least views, and maybe one, maybe two times, but I think just one time I got a comment from a fellow alcoholic. I've gotten quite a few comments from, other audio geeks, but the number one type person I'm trying to find is people struggling with alcohol. And I think, okay, so I'll just be generous and say 2 times I've gotten a comment from, there's one that his handle was Critty La from the UK, and I didn't see his comment for like 6 days, and I finally found it, and I answered back just saying, "Sir, please keep coming back, and please comment again, and here's my email, please write me." And I never heard anything back from him. And there may have been one other time when someone mentioned, keep it on the straight and narrow, maybe one other time. And it's like, what's the fucking point? This algorithms. And I recently saw a video by a guy with a successful, sobriety content channel. His channel is called Bat Country, B-A-T Country. He's also UK. He's a UK guy. He's got a successful sobriety content channel, and he made a video about wherein he mentioned that these algorithms, not just YouTube but other social media platforms, also they only promote the most sensational horror stories of substance abuse, alcohol abuse, substance abuse. They only promote you if you're telling your horror stories. And he talked about it like that's a known thing. And he was making the point that this might actually be doing a disservice to a lot of people, because it might cause a lot of people who are in need of quitting, encouragement to quit. It might reinforce the idea in their minds with, I'm not that. It's like, I'm not that bad. I must not really have a problem. I don't have any horrible stories like that. Like, I'm not that, But see, that's the thing. I don't tell my horror stories. Because I don't believe in, I believe in acknowledging the past and making reconciliations, but then I'm a firm believer in moving on. And that's what I focus on. I focus on having something to do to keep the demons away, at bay. I don't do that. I don't appeal to the, and I refuse to bow and scrape and genuflect to a digital god. We already live in a matrix, for fuck's sake. I don't know if you've noticed. Even this meat space world that we live in is a matrix. Why live in a matrix within a matrix? It's like Zuckerberg, he failed with Meta. They don't even need that. This internet thing, as far as I can see, is enough. It's real. It's some real dark mental enslavement, man. You're spending hours a day on the internet. Your awareness is lost. It just is. Your ideas are not your own. Your desires are not your own. Your impulses are not your own. Your intentions are not your own. Your attention is not your own. And okay, so and I've noticed that YouTube, drive my view counts as measly as they are. It's not measly enough. YouTube keeps the almighty algorithm keeps driving them down. I made a video. So during the course of this exercise in futility, I struck up one meaningful interaction with somebody, and I still genuinely care about this person. And I really, I just got such a kick out of, I couldn't believe that this person had the time of day for me. And I don't know what happened, but so it's like, I met this person, and well, that's enough to keep going. But then, I don't know, that person just stopped communicating. And so, and I made a video called Intention at the Point of Attention. And I know that's just like, it's like that's a view count killer. That's just a non-starter. It's not even getting out of the gate. I don't care. It's not why I made it. But it had like, I don't know, 12 views. And then I look again yesterday and it's like 4 views. 4. From 12 to 4. It's like, fuck off. See, at that point, it's like, not only am I not bowing and scraping before the almighty algorithm, it's like, almighty algorithm, just eat a bag of rotting demon dicks. Fuck you. I'm out of here. I can't even have my measly 12 views. You gotta shove it down to 4. And so here I am. I'm just like, I'm back to, I don't like people. Individually, on the street, if somebody's running for the elevator, I'm hitting the button to make the doors open again. I walk past the checkout section at the supermarket, and a busy mother has fumbled a tangerine. It bounces outside the checkout corral. I just reach down, pick it up. Here you go. I'm the same. I'm always at service when I can be, but people in general, I've got no use for people, really. as a species. And it's a blight on my soul. And maybe you should do the channel. You never know. And now I'm just kind of like, yeah, well, you never know. Now I think I know. Now I think I know. Yeah. It's for nothing. Nobody's going to get this far watching this either. This is the world we live in. If I went the other route and told all my horror stories and did jump cuts and jazzed things up a bit, I'd probably have, 1,000 followers by now and subscribers, whatever they're called. And, if I sensationalized my degeneracy, if I commodified my misery and the misery I put other people through, turned it into a commodity, then I'd have engagement, right? Yeah, well, fuck that. I refuse to do it. And I refuse to sacrifice even one more minute of one more day sort of feeling inadequate because I can't convince the almighty malgorithm just to bridge the gap between me and other drunks. It's not my fault. I've done the best I could. And, well, if I did anything to alienate anyone, I suppose that should come as no surprise. Yeah, I'm a mixed bag, that's for sure. I can't think of anything I did, but you never know. But I had a dream. And in that dream, I've been told that straight up, no, what do you call them? No, what do you call them? Well, you loved. No, you loved. Own it. You loved. That was you. Not really. No, it was. What do you call that? No something. No ifs or buts. You loved. Okay, all right. So now technically that's not my own hidden treasure anymore. I've thrown it out there. Nobody's going to listen anyway, but still, it's out. It's not squirreled away in my sock drawer, technically. So, but okay, so I did it. Happy? Not talking to you. And I tried the YouTube channel. Happy? I may, just for fun, if I'm taking a break from I've got a few songs that are all like half done in various stages, and I'm just not proceeding with them because it just seems appropriate to not proceed right now. I'm translating a Korean monk's book of poems, and I'm not watching much internet, and I'm trying to appreciate what I have in my immediate local environment. I have a wife who still loves me, and she's still alive and breathing. And every morning when I wake up and I go into her bedroom, and she turns her face and she looks at me, I breathe a sigh of relief. She's still breathing and she's still looking at me. And I've got a little bunny rabbit who's still alive. We're all still alive. And that could change on a dime. That's what I'm focused on. So I'm not going to delete this channel. And I may put stuff here just for the hell of it as I see fit. But I'm done. And that's the other thing. I was at this point a couple of times. Okay, I'm done. But I'll just, so remastering Al Jolson. I was like, okay, this is the last thing. And then that gets like 250, but now it's down to 222 views. It's almost like that almighty algorithm is saying, wait a minute, don't, wait, hang on. It sounds really paranoid, right? Believe me, it's not. All right, really quick story. One night, this is years ago. This is like 2017, 2018. Long-suffering Mrs. and I are in our bedroom watching old cartoons on YouTube. She grew up in South Korea. I grew up in the USA. But we used to watch some of the same cartoons. We watched some Looney Tunes, some Tom and Jerry. And she says, oh, Woody Woodpecker. Did you watch Woody Woodpecker? Yeah, I used to watch Woody Woodpecker. She's like, let's watch some Woody Woodpecker. Yeah, hang on. I'm just going to go get a beer. So I go to the kitchen, I get a beer, I come back, and got the computer connected to the TV, right? And so I go to the YouTube search, and I type the letter W. And out of all the W things in the world, what should the autocomplete be 100% comprised of? From the first autocomplete suggestion unto the last, Woody Woodpecker. But it's all just a coincidence, right? It's paranoid to think that your smartphones could be listening in on you and triangulate that shit in the space of 90 seconds. It's just paranoid delusion, right? Well, my long-suffering missus doesn't have she does have a conspiratorial bone. She's just never indulged it or had any reason to. But she looked at me in that moment. She's like, what's up with this? I was like, I told you. There's no privacy. Anyway, so But then, so I said, okay, well, the malgorithm likes that. The malgorithm will actually promote that content. So, okay. So I did remastering Paul Whiteman and his orchestra. 50 views. And then, okay, well, I'll try one more time remastering. Who was the third guy? I forget. Second guy was Paul Whiteman. Third one was, yeah, Eddie Cantor. Oh, is she dumb? Must have been the thumbnails, because I just couldn't help myself. I had to make thumbnails that poked fun at the woke crowd. So probably the malgorithm didn't like that, the almighty malgorithm. And so it's like, all right, if I can't even be a tiny bit myself, and I can't even poke fun with my thumbnails, eat a bag of rotten cyber zombie dicks. Eat a bag of demon dicks. Fuck you, man. Fuck this whole scene. I'm out of here. Really. If I was a better man, I'd know how to punch through. But I just don't give a fuck. I'm much more concerned with taking care of the real world right around me. And I'll just put stuff here as I see fit, but I don't know. I made one friend, I thought, and that really meant something. Man, that was enough to keep me chugging along. But I hope he's okay. I'm sure he's got reasons, and there's nothing on him. No, I wish him only the best, really. And he's got my email if he ever. There's nothing on him at all. It's just fuck it. I'm out of here. My quest is. I gave it my best, and that's the end of my quest. My quest is done. This is now yeah. This channel is just here as I don't know. Just a place to put odds and ends as I see fit. So that's a load off my shoulders. But if you are a drunk and you need help, I'm leaving it up there with if you click in the channel description and you click around a little bit, you can find my email. And I'm not great about checking email. I don't check it every day, but if you're a drunk and you want to talk, I'll always try to be here. Okay? All right. So that was my dream. Over and out. From lovely, I'm having to click out of something just to hit the stop recording button. From lovely, scenic Paju City, South Korea, 5 kilometers south of the North Korean border, where all hell could break loose at any given moment. Not, but maybe. One never knows. Over and out.